Reegan and welcome to the Cow Cat Creations Knitting Podcast, Episode 1. I'm a knitter, mainly a knitter, based out in regional Victoria, so the southern part of Australia. And I thought I would start this podcast to share what I'm working on, yarn and patterns that excites me, things that I've bought, and just connect with other knitters, hopefully around the world, but connect with other knitters and join the community. I have been knitting for less than 2 years, so I'm still very new, but pretty adventurous, so I don't tend to get put off by much. But I thought I would start this podcast because I'm not very active on social media. And I mean, I'm on social media, but I don't post a lot. And I tend to just sit back and kind of like things and observe, but never really engage beyond that. And I really wanted to put myself out there and I guess connect more with people and other knitters, crocheters. So here I am. So first podcast, take 2 or 3 because yeah, we've tried before. So we'll see if this sticks. Yeah, welcome. Start with what I'm wearing. It's summer here, so it's generally not knitwear weather, but it's a mild day, and I am wearing my Traveller Shell by Andrew Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. So I finished this in, I want to say November, late November, early December last year. And it's just this lovely, lightweight, but squishy and fuzzy throw over, essentially. So I've worn this a few times already when it hasn't been really, really hot. I've knitted this one in West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace in the colour Mayfair, which is like a really dark purple, like a royal purple, with a strand of black wattle fibres, alpaca, silk alpaca, in the colour Jacaranda, I think. Yeah. No. The fibre is called Jacaranda, the colour is called Thistle. And so both 2-ply held together to make a fingering weight combination. And yeah, really straightforward knit. I think it asked for a tubular cast on and bind off. At least cast on, I didn't do that. I just did a long tail. And any other modifications I made? I did knit a smaller size. I have found in the past with cardigans, I tend to knit quite loose. So anything I knit in the flat, I'm a bit looser with the gauge. And so to make up for that, rather than going down a needle size, I went down a size in the throw over. Because I'm lazy and I didn't want to have to cast on more stitches than I needed to in smaller needle size. So stayed with the needle size I had and just sized down the cardigan. So this is a size 2 and I should be a 4 or 5. So if you're thinking, and it does block out really loose and really the knit pattern essentially is like a garter ridge almost. It is quite stretchy and drapes, and sort of as the weight, it starts off kind of squishy, and then as you knit and it gets heavier, it just sort of loosens up even more. And then I knew that blocking this, it would loosen up even further, so I knew I was safe with like 2 sizes smaller than the pattern suggested. It was a gamble, but it paid off because it's perfect and I love it, and it's fluffy and squishy and I find the alpaca is not itchy at all because it's really soft. Unlike, like, I find some mohair is quite itchy, so I was very keen to have alpaca. The only thing I would say is my yarns didn't really match colour-wise. I've got this mild dark purple, light purple going on, because originally I was going to use Hoppy Diablo because I had a stash of that, and that's a really pale lilac, even though it's not my colour and I don't really like the colour. But I couldn't find a lace weight that would match that, so I got the dark purple thinking I could just like put them together, and I hated it. So I ended up going to Black Wattle Fibres and picking out a purple, which is this fluffy purple, and that looked, yeah, really nice with it. It would have been nice if I could have matching yarn, but we can't have everything. So yeah, that, I think it took me about 4 weeks pretty consistently to, like, of consistent knitting to finish this. So really not that long, mostly because I really wanted to make it for summer to have on to throw over cool mornings and evenings. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I live in regional Victoria, so it's the south part of Australia, down the bottom. I'm a knitter and crocheter and yarn enthusiast, and I thought I would start a podcast to talk all things related to yarn, share my projects, what I'm working on, things I'm excited about, yarn I've purchased, and just create a nice little cozy corner of the internet where everyone is welcome to come and chill out. The main reason I thought I would start this podcast is I really just want to connect with other knitters and crocheters around the world. I am not very active on social media, so this is a bit of a challenge, but I thought it's about time to put myself out there and have a chat. So in today's podcast, I'm going to talk about what I'm working on, things I've finished recently, what I want to work on coming up, so future plans, some items that I've put on hold because they're just doing my head in, and some purchases I've made recently, which I should probably cut back on. So I'll start off with what I'm wearing. So this is the Traveller Shell by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. I knitted this in West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite Lace and a strand of lace weight alpaca from Black Wattle Fibres. So it was fingering weight in total, and it's really soft and squishy and cozy. And because it's short sleeved, it's not super hot in summertime here in Australia. Saying that, it does leave a little bit of fluff, so I've got to be careful if I'm wearing a backpack that starts to ball up at the back, and it does leave some fluff on my chair, and on anything dark. So I don't wear black with this because I'll just end up with purple fluff all over me, which was a really straightforward knit, to be honest. It looked like it was going to be complicated, and it really wasn't once you got the pattern repeat down. It's just knits and purls, and nice lightweight. It's super lightweight. It's I'm a loose knitter, so I knitted this 2 sizes smaller than pattern suggested because I knew this yarn was going to block out quite loose or quite wide, and the pattern has a tendency to grow as well. So it's got because it's a sort of a garter ridge, it just stretches out. So knowing that and wanting to cut corners, I thought I just picked the smaller size that I thought I could get away with. So this is actually a size 2, and I should really be knitting a size 4 or 5, but it just, yeah, as soon as I blocked it and dried, it was just loose and airy, and yeah, it's lovely. Really nice drape. It's really soft and squishy, and I just like to sit there and kind of give myself a little rub. So yeah, Black Wattle Fibres. The alpaca is colour Jacaranda, and the West Yorkshire Knitters is the colour Mayfair. So it's a dark purple and mid purple together. I couldn't quite colour match both of them, but no biggie. It's giving me this nice kind of purpley mild effect, which is lovely. So, finished objects. I will start with the big one. Another Andrew Mowry. I went on a bit of a Andrew Mowry spree. It's the Shifty sweater, which I've done in kind of not 3/4 sleeves, half sleeves, so down to my elbow. So again, this 4-ply again. Well, I think the pattern calls for sport weight, but I used a 4-ply fingering weight yarn. So the beige is half-baked hand-dyeds in Mr. Roberts, which I collected or bought at the Australian Wool and Sheep show in Bendigo last year. And then the gradient colours, I don't know if you can see, the gradients are Spiced Wine, Corgatha Omopis, and Emperor Gum Moth from Three Trees Fibre Crafts. Spice Wine is just one of their standard colours, I believe. And the other two, so Corgatha Omopis, which is this kind of mid-tone, I don't know if you can really see. It's got purples and yellows and pinks in it. And then Emperor Gum Moth, which is more of a peachy yellow with a bit of pink down the bottom there. They were skeins from their Australian Moth Cub collection from last year, which I took part in. And so they were just really lovely. They've just, yeah, I haven't had a chance to wear this yet, to be honest. It's a bit warm here at the moment, so we are in the middle of summer, so I'm waiting for autumn to kick in so I can wear some more knits, but it will be lovely for that mid-season transitional kind of weather where it's cool but not cold and not hot. And yeah, this is lovely. It was a bit of a slog towards the end because with fingering weight, I just find you can work for hours and then not feel like you're getting anywhere. But really enjoyable pattern to knit. I loved seeing the texture come through, so I'm looking forward to wearing this one in autumn. Now, because I had some leftover yarns, because I only used like maybe a third to half a skein for each one of the gradient colours, I saw a video by Wool Needles Hands on YouTube where she had taken, was it 2 or 3 leftover yarn, skeins of yarn, and just used her circular knitting machine, like the hand crank ones, to make a little cowl. And I was like, oh, I could do that. So I did. So I made this squishy little cowl with the leftover yarns from my Shifty. So I just held the 3 strands together and hand cranked it out. And now I've got this nice squishy cowl for winter, which will goes nice with my Shifty sweater. So I think they will look lovely together. Yeah. But yeah, it's really lovely. And it was really, I mean, obviously the hand crank machine, it was really, really quick. I think it took an hour or 2, including sewing up the edges. The only thing was I took it off a little short. So I ended up knitting, just hand knitting a few rounds, just give me, an extra inch or so of length. And then blocked it out pretty heavily just so I wouldn't have it too tight around my neck, because I don't like things touching my neck. Personal preference. The next thing I've finished, and this is the things I've finished, sorry, I should have said before, the things I've finished since 1st of Jan. So it's not that many, because everything is tiny fingering weight yarn. And that's another one. We've got, I just did a pair of shorty socks for summer. I just knitted these up in some leftover paint box yarns, the sock yarn. I don't remember what colour this is. Hang on. No idea. Paint box yarn, it's just a vanilla sock. Paint box yarns, their sock pattern. No. Sock yarn. In this vanilla sock pattern and then a heel tab, which I'll find the pattern and put a link in because I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. But it's a free pattern on the internet to create a heel tab, like a sports sock heel tab. And I just find these look really nice with a pair of sneakers. And they don't slip because of the heel tab, heel flap and the gusset. They stick on your feet, so you can have no-show socks with your sneakers or shoes. And they won't end up crawling down your feet. So, and it was leftover yarn, so 2 pairs of socks, 1 skein. And the last one I'm going to include in finished objects, and only because I finally sewed it up. I actually finished this last year. Is another Andrea Mowry, the DRK Everyday Cow, I think. Yeah, that's the one. And this was in Rowan Yarns Felted Tweed in the colour Peach. And I don't remember the other one. No. Can't remember the colour. It's one of the gradient colours. Again, yeah, quick, easy, kind of straightforward knit. I'd left it, I'd finished it, but just hadn't sewn it up. And I sat down one afternoon and finally got round to it. Again, can't wait till autumn to be able to wear this. So, that's, yeah, not that many finished things since 1st of Jan. Mainly because a lot of these were fingering weight and they take a long time. So I'm having a break from fingering weight yarn for a bit, which I'll talk about a bit more later on. My in progress knits, my whips. I am working on a few things at once because who wants to focus on one thing? I've got a crochet temperature blanket, which is outside of the room, which I need to finish in the next couple of weeks. I am working on the Frankensweater. So this is a knit along. A knit along with the Wool Needles Hands Patreon group. So it's not a published pattern yet. Hopefully it will be. Where we are all knitting the Frankensweater, which is just, but it's a Frankensweater. It's a mixture of different patterns to make a double roll, like a roll neck. No, not a roll neck, a fold over neck jumper, I'll call it, with a raglan sleeve. And yeah, I started this Monday? Tuesday, can't remember. And it's now Friday. And I haven't worked on it for a couple of days, but I'm nearly getting close to splitting the body and the arms. So it's a very quick knit, which is so good after working on fingering weight yarns. I'm knitting this in Patons Jet, which is a 12 ply. I picked this up at a vintage store. There was a bag of yarn and I thought, I'll grab that. Came home, popped it in the freezer for a while just to kill off anything. And I hadn't figured out what to use it, but it's the perfect weight for this jumper. Didn't have quite enough for a full top, so I got some extra yarns to do contrast colours. So I've done a contrast colour inside the neck and it just kind of peeks out at the top, and then I'll put stripes in down the body and on bottom end of the arms. It kind of looks a little bit Hogwartsy, which I'm not mad about. But I think it should be really cute and cozy for the winter months, because it does get quite cold out here. So yeah, it's the Frankensweater. So hopefully it comes out as a formalised pattern, because it's really fun and really easy to do. It's quick, you can modify it quite easily. So I changed up the increases on the raglan by adding, you can't really see, I added yarn overs to make little holes on the side of the raglan increases, rather than a knit front back or make one left, make one right. So I thought that was just something cute and different, and I'm looking forward to finishing this one off. The other, what else am I working on? I am working on the Coron cardigan by Cryobear Knits, which I'm knitting in Malbrigio Rios yarn, just like a worsted weight yarn. So it's a lace pattern cardigan from the bottom up. So it's been real. I've only worked on this for 2 days, so this has been my train journey pattern. I've got a fairly long commute into the office when I do work in the office. So yeah, I get some good knitting time in on the way in and out of the office. But yeah, it's a really easy and enjoyable lace pattern. I've frog it twice because I haven't paid attention. And yeah, this yarn is just gorgeous to work with. So yeah, the Malbrigio Rios, it's just a tiny ball here. But this is the colour teal feather, and it's super soft and just nice and squishy. I can't wait to finish this because it just feels really nice. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. This is fun. It's just such a nice change to work on something thicker than fingering weight yarn or lace weight yarn. And there is one other. I'm swatching for sweater number 2 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. So the yarn I've got for this is, because it's mohair and a fingering weight held together. Now I've got this light purple, which is just not my colour.
Hey.
Yes, my love. Take 3. So I started recording this, and then I think I just had weird nerves and it cut out, and then I started again and I got about halfway through, and then my husband comes charging in to tell me something about work. And then just now my camera decided to turn itself off because it decided it had enough and it was going to sleep. So I don't know what's recorded so far. We're just going to keep rolling with it. So I was talking about whips, and so the last one I was talking about was vest number 2, the spring edition from My Favourite Things Knitwear, and the yarn I'm using. So I'm using a ball of 200 grams of Bendigo Wool Mills Luxury 4-ply in the colour Lilac Snow and Hobby Diablo. I think this is just pale lilac. Either way, they're both lilac colours. These are not colours that I would normally wear. I mean, they make me look sick. So I am planning to dye them. So once I've finished knitting up this vest, I'm going to dye it a different colour. And I've dyed one swatch so far to see how that goes. So I've dyed this swatch in a dark blue. And you can see kind of where the colour hasn't taken, but it's left it kind of a little pale, and I kind of like that effect. but I don't know if I'm loving the colour on me. So I'm going to keep going with different colour dyes and different swatches because the gauge is not quite right yet. And see where I end up. The other thing is I do have a blue vest already. So I don't know that I want to. So I'm thinking green, teal. I don't know about purple. I don't think I want a purple one. Maybe I do. Either way, I can't. I mean, beige or cream isn't going to work with this because it's already pink. Purple. I mean, I could even just go brown. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I know the dye is going to work, but these colours, anyway, that's more representative of the colour. It's super pale and just washes me out. It's just not a good colour for me. But yeah, going to use this yarn up because I'm trying to use up my stash. We'll see how we go. I'll report back in a few weeks and see. Let you know what's happening. So yeah, second swatch on the needles. Not quite there yet. I think I'm going to go down half a needle size. We'll see. Whoops. I've got a couple of hibernating things. So I'm working on, I've got to do the partner for this sock. I've got one sock finished. This is going to be a gift sock. So it's going to someone in my life. And this is the pattern Heel Toe Dosey Do by Crazy Sock Lady. And I've put on contrast, cuff and heel and toe. And the colour is, it's a West Yorkshire Spinners. I don't remember the colour. What's the name of the colour? I don't remember. I'll figure it out. You'll remember later on. But yeah, second sock syndrome. I've done one sock and I can't be bothered doing the other one. So don't know how long that's going to take. It's kind of where I'm, oh no, I have one more. I was about to say I'm done, but I'm not. I have one more, which is another sock. But I feel like I really want to finish this sock. Or socks. So I'm doing another set. No, it's not a vanilla sock. It is another Crazy Sock Lady, and I don't know what's happened to this yarn. But this is the Austin sock, which is basically a vanilla sock with little garter pearl bumps through it. And this is the Ultra Soft Sock from Maximu Yarns in the colour Goblin Grove. And like, just check this out. Like, how cool is that? It's like lime and there's like orange and dark green and black. It's just really cool. And this is super squishy and I have spent days just sitting here touching it because it is cashmere. No, well, part cashmere. It's 80% merino, 10% nylon and 10% cashmere. Now I was going to give this to my husband, but he's brutal on socks and I said absolutely not. I'm keeping these for myself because you'll destroy them. And next time I'm in the market to get some more yarn, I'm going to buy more of this because it is lovely. It's really squishy and soft. I've had it in my stash for ages and I don't know why I didn't bring it out, but oh, it's gorgeous. But I just don't know what happened here. So that could be an issue. So that's it for my whips. Kind of. I'm putting one on hold. I might as well go into the things I'm putting on hold. And one of the things I'm putting on hold is this. So this is a start of Velicor by Andrew Mowry, which I started knitting in Black Wattle Yarn Sweet Pea in the colour. So the purple is Without Thorns. That rusty colour you can see through here is called Rust. And then the green stripe is called Whirlpool. And it's gorgeous yarn, but it's light fingering weight and I feel like it takes forever to get through a pattern repeat. And I've just decided that I'm going to put this away for a little while and do some really satisfying knits that bring me joy and happiness, because it's not right now. I don't think I've got the mental energy for really tiny yarns and want quick, happy, easy projects right now. So that's where I'm at. Socks don't count because socks are quick and easy, and I don't like really chunky socks. The other one I'm putting on hold because I'm not satisfied is a scarf I started as a gift. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. I don't know how I feel about this. So it's kind of a curled scarf. It kind of wraps around. It's not a cow, but it's got this curve that you knit in. So it's not really coming up. There we go. You can kind of see there's like a curve. I'm not feeling the wrap and turns. They're a little bit jagged to me, and the pattern's not vibing, and the colours aren't really vibing. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to put it down for a while. And if something else comes up that I like, I might switch out some of the yarns. But this is Rowan Silk sock yarn. And the peachy colour, which is actually a really long gradient colour. I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of peach and orange and then goes towards pink in the middle. So a really long colour gradient is Bendigo Wool Mill sock. And it feels quite rustic. Well, rustic, I don't think it's not super soft. So I don't know. Like the silk is really nice. And the person I'm gifting it to, I kind of want them to have something squishy and cuddly to wrap themselves up with. And I don't feel like this is going to do it. And I know they're quite sensitive to wool, so I think I'm going to mix it up a bit. Okay, so newness. No. Future projects. Things I want to work on. I've got quite a bit of yarn stashed that I want to use up before I buy more yarn, because I just feel like a bit of a hoarder at the moment. So I would like to do in future ghost horses from Caitlin Hunter, because I love the colour work on that. Wouldn't mind doing another t-shirt. It's maybe like the Tulsa tee from Cray Bear Knits. And then I've got a few Jennifer Steinglass patterns ready to go. So either a Boreal Arena or Goldwing. Probably Goldwing. I think I like Goldwing the best. That would be really cool. So we'll see. I'm going to get through some of these first and then see where I'm landing. I tend to just knit based on what I'm vibing with and what I feel like. I don't like knitting for purposes that don't bring me joy or to like really get a deadline. So I haven't really done that many test knits because I find I just fall out of love because I'm expected to finish the project. It's kind of like when you're about to do something and then someone says, make sure you do this thing, and you go, well, now I'm not going to do it. That's what happens. So maybe I'll jump ahead and we'll talk about newness, new things, new yarn. So I said earlier that Patons Jet was the yarn of choice for my Frankensweater because I thrifted it. Most of the balls did not look like this, by the way. They were just hand wound. This is the one that was still with its original packaging. I was able to source some contrast coloured balls that I thought would work really nicely and kind of like give a funky pop of colour. So I bought 5-6 skeins of colour in the same yarn to go with it. And I don't know what they're called because it's not on the band, I don't think. No. But, so I've got like a rust here, a dark green, a teal, a mustard, and like this pinky colour, which is now pulling really lilac-y on the screen, and I don't know why. So these are going to be my stripes with that darker mahogany red colour. Burgundy, that's the colour I'm thinking of, burgundy, not mahogany. So they will be the stripes. I really want to use this. So I've been dabbling in dyeing yarn, and I dyed up about 4 skeins worth of this colour, which is a bit of a blend of quite a few colours, but I love this kind of rusty brown colour, and like, it's my hair colour, right? But I really want to use this yarn. Like, I don't want to waste it. Like, I dyed it up, I bought it, I dyed it, I want to use it. So I thought this is going to make a great cardigan colour, but because it's fingering weight, I don't want to knit a fingering weight cardigan because I think it might just destroy my brain. So I was able to match the colour reasonably well with some Rowan Kidsilk haze. So this is the colour Soil, and they look really good together. And I don't know why the light is doing that, because this is not that pale. The screen is making it look really light. It is not. Maybe if I flip them around, you'll see. That's a bit better. That's just the light. So it's like a lovely red brown, and it just goes really nicely with the colour I dyed. So yeah, I'm gonna do, I think, is it the No Frills cardigan by Petite Knits? Novice cardigan, the Novice cardigan by Petite Knit, the mohair edition. So I'm going to hold these two together, and I think that will make a really lovely, cuddly cardigan. I'm really excited because I really want to finish it and make it, and it'll be great. And I'm really happy to use like my yarn and say, well, this is something I made. One day I will be able to spin the yarn, dye the yarn, knit the yarn. At the moment I'm just working backwards, so knit the yarn, dye the yarn, and then I'll learn to spin at some point. The other thing I got at the same time was a few balls of more Rowan felted tweed, and this colour, I think it's called Lotus. This great, fantastic green colour. And I think I'm going to make either White Horse by Caitlin Hunter or the Tulster Tea in this. I've got a grey as well. So I've got this one as well. This is the colour Clay. And it's kind of a, again, not my colour. So I'm tossing up whether I dye it. I haven't decided yet. I bought this online and it looked a lot more beigey. And I thought because it said clay that it was a beige colour, and it turns out it's like a grey with blue bits colour. But that's okay. I'll just work with it. But I could do something where I'm striping the two, maybe? I don't know. But I love this yarn. I really love this yarn. I don't think there's many yarns I don't love, but I love this yarn. And then the last thing I've bought sort of in the last month is a few extra skeins of Spincycle yarns dyed in the wool, which is really expensive. So I have very specifically dictated which patterns they're going to be used on. So I've got 4 skeins of Nostalgia, which is going to be used for a Ghost Horse's tea. So I'll have that nice purple contrast with Spincycle Wilder in the dark grey, which is like that really browny grey. There's two colours of that one. So the Wilder comes in like a light grey and a dark grey, and the light grey is kind of like a beige grey, like a greyish, and then the dark grey is kind of like a brown grey. And the only one I could get here in Australia was the dark grey. So that's what I went with. But I think with this purple, so it will be like a subtle contrast. But yeah, I think that's really going to work. And then I've also picked up, I'm making old lady noises. Okay, 2 other colours. So I've got Velocore and Melancholia, and these with one of the other colours I have. I think it's Bright Idea. It's kind of like blue and red. I feel like, I think it's blue and red and like maybe a bit of purple. I'm going to do a Shift Cow, I think. And then I still have a couple of others. I have other colours as well. I've been collecting this yarn for like 12 months. Like every time I can get my hands on one, I'll buy it. And then I just don't want to use it because it's like really pretty. I just love the colours. Again, I need to stop doing that. And then lastly is my husband and I went for a drive last weekend and stopped at a local craft store, and I went in to have a look, and I kind of felt bad, like if I didn't buy anything. So let's see if I can find it. Hang on. Oh no. Yeah. And it was this really cute little shop, and I think it's more of a crochet store. Like the yarns were more like crochet project in like design, more cottons and stuff. But I managed to get a couple of balls of sheep G's. Sheep G's. My camera hates me today. Just cut out again. All right, so stopped at a local yarn store and picked up a couple of balls of sheep G's Our Tribe. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, and I feel very Australian right now because I'm terrible at pronouncing European names. Please don't come at me, but politely correct me. I'm more than happy to take on any feedback. But this is the colour Excitement. So I got a couple of balls of this. And I think I'm going to make a scarf or a shawl with these. And maybe like a solid. But this is sport weight. I think it's sport weight. And it's superwash merino, 70% superwash merino and 30% polyamide. So it's kind of a good all-rounder. It's a sock yarn or maybe a scarf yarn. It's pretty squishy. It's pretty soft. It doesn't feel too scratchy. So I don't know. I don't know that it would stand up very well as a sock yarn. Like it just it's a single ply, and I don't know why it's doing that. Focus. Yeah, it's a single ply, so I feel like I might felt. I don't know. But yeah, it looked really cool, so I bought that. It'll be fun. Okay. So that's about it for like new yarns. And it's not always like this. This is just catching up from Christmas. I had gift cards. Other stuff, I am dabbling in designing my own jumper, mostly so I can understand the construction process and so I can tailor things to fit myself. Personally, I don't like things too high on my neck. I've got scar tissue up here that I don't want rubbed. And I've got broad shoulders, so I like things to fit my shoulders properly, but then I don't want them too baggy in the waist. So I'm just really keen to sort of understand that process so I can tailor things to myself. So I've got quite a few books now to help me with that. I have joined a craft club, a local craft club, which has been fantastic. Lovely, lovely group of people. And it's run from an alpaca mill, Great Ocean Road woolen mill. And again, just the loveliest, nicest bunch of people. I've got a workplace-based young craft club. I won't say young club, craft club, that I've started. So just a group of us every week can just sit down and eat our lunch and work on our projects. I have begun organising I keep leaning to the side. I've begun organising all my yarn because my husband is not impressed with the state of the house because I tend to stash yarn everywhere, which is fair enough. And I'm just really looking forward to all the fibre festivals this year. So there's quite a few coming up. And I'm really looking forward to it this year. I'm excited. So I think I'll leave it at that because my camera is like about to die. Hopefully most of this recorded. And leave me some feedback. Let me know how I went. Be nice. It's my first time. And I'm going to try and be brave and film another one in a week or two. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see more stuff, or leave a comment if there's something you'd like me to answer or talk about. And yeah, I just love your support. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye.